Assalamualaikum dear students. Hope you all are fine and in good health. Today I am going to summarize Zoom online class first lecture, that is about unit number 7, matter and water cycle. We remember that before lecture you must have a rough notebook and a pencil to note down the important points of the lecture or to underline the important statements on your books. Come to page number 60 on your book, matter. In this unit, you will learn about the definition of matter, the states of matter, and how one state of matter can be converted into another state. Have you ever wondered? See on your book, page number 60, keep your fingers on your book. I am reading the first paragraph. Have you ever wondered what our world is made of? Everything around us is made of invisible bits or particles known as matter. You too are made of matter. It means that everything around us in this world is made of invisible bits or invisible particles, and these invisible particles, when combined together, they make matter. So all the things in the world which we can see or some things that we cannot see are made up of are called matter. There are three states of matter. The three known states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. Scientists classify a thing as a matter if it has mass and takes up the space. Means anything which has mass and occupies or takes up the space, that thing is called matter. What is mass? Mass is the amount of matter in an object. The amount of matter in an object is called its mass, and the space occupied by an object is known as volume. So volume is the space occupied by an object that has length, breadth, and height. Now you have a proper definition of matter. You can note down this definition. Anything that has mass and occupies the space is defined as matter. And what is mass? You can underline the statement on your book. The amount of matter in an object is called its mass. Or we can say how much matter is in an object or how heavy something is, though, so that is the mass of that thing. And volume is the space occupied by anything, or how much space something takes up, that is the volume of that thing. And for the volume, the thing must have length, breadth, and height. As you can see this box on your screen, this has a length, width, and height. So it means that it is occupying some space, and it has volume, and it also has some mass. So that's why it is called matter. Now come to the states of matter. Matter has three states. Matter exists in three states. These are solid, liquid, and gas. You can see on your screen that water, which is the liquid state of matter, when you freeze the water, it turns into ice, which is the solid state of matter. And when you heat up the water, it turns into vapors, which is the gas. It is the gaseous state of matter. So we can say matter exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Come again to on your book, page number 60. How do you know if something is solid, liquid, or gas? Or we can say, how can we differentiate between solids, liquids, and gases? Anything which has a definite shape and a definite volume, that thing is known as solid. It means that solids have a fixed shape and they do not change their shape, whether you keep them anywhere in your, for example, eraser, that is a solid state of matter. If you keep it in your pouches, in your pencil boxes, or in your on your desks, the eraser does not change its shape. So it means that it has a definite shape, and it will occupy the same space. It will take up the same space. You keep it anywhere. It means it has a definite volume. So all the solid states of matter have a definite shape and a definite volume. The other examples of the solids are a block of wood, a tissue paper, your eraser, and even your body is also a solid, because your body also has a proper shape. You sit anywhere, your body doesn't change its shape, and you occupy some space. You sit anywhere, on the floor, on the chair, you occupy some space. It means that your body is also a matter. And which state of matter? It's the solid state of matter. Clear? The second state of matter is liquid. Matter is liquid if it changes its shape but does not change its volume. All the liquids have a definite volume but they do not have a definite shape. They change the shape and they assume the shape of the containers in which they are poured. For example, if you pour juice into a glass from a bottle, it will take the shape of the glass. And same like that, if you pour the water from the glass into the jug, it will take the shape of the jug. It means that liquids do not have a proper shape, but all the liquids have a definite or a proper volume. It means that it takes up the same space no matter where you keep it. In a jug, in a bottle, or in any other container, it will take the same space. The examples of liquids are water, honey, and blood in your body. All are the examples of the liquid states of matter. The gas, which is the third state of matter. All the gases do not have a definite shape and they do not have a definite volume. This means that it changes its shape when you put it in another container. Take the example of air, which is a gas. If you fill air inside the balloon, it takes the shape of the balloon. If you pump air into a shopping bag or a beach ball, it will take the shape of these objects. All the gases do not have a proper definite shape. You can see the different shaped balloons and they are filled with air, which is the gas. So the gas assumes the shape of the balloon. All the gases do not have a definite volume. This means that it spreads throughout the space provided for it. The gases occupy all the space provided to them. They do not have a proper volume. For example, if you blow air into a balloon, it will spread throughout the space. Air in the balloon and the bubbles in the boiling water are the examples of the gaseous states of matter. Clear? Same like that, if you fill the air in a tire, it will occupy the space provided by the tire. So the gases do not have a definite shape and the gases do not have a definite volume. Here are some examples of solids, liquids, and gases. You can see the pictures of different things which are solids, which are liquids, and which are gases. The fumes coming from volcano are the examples of gases. The vapors coming from the hot cup of tea or from boiling water, all these are the examples of gases. Here are juices, honey, water, milk, all these are the examples of liquid. Same like that, when you heat up the water or when you boil the water turns into vapors, which is the gaseous state of matter. Clear? Here are another few examples of gases. The air filled in balloon, the bubbles in the soda, or the atmosphere which is surrounding our earth, which is full of gases. The atmosphere, the air around us, which is surrounding our planet, it is also full of gases. And same like that, the air in the balloon. Now we can compare the three states of matter. These are the solids, liquids, and gas. How we can differentiate between solids, liquids, and gases? Here are the here is the comparison. All the solids are rigid, liquids are not rigid, and gases are also not rigid. Why solids are rigid? Because the particles in the solid are closely packed. They do not have the proper space. You can see on your books, page number 60, that the particles in the solids are arranged in a regular pattern. As you can see in this picture, the particles are arranged in a proper regular pattern. That's why they have a fixed shape. And these particles are tightly packed. It means that there is a very little space between them, or there is no space between them. Therefore, solids cannot be compressed or cannot be squashed. Why they cannot be compressed? आप उनको compress क्यों नहीं कर सकते? Because they do not have a proper space between them. The particles of the solids are tightly packed. They do not have space between them, and they do not move freely from place to place. They do not have space. That's why they do not move freely from place to place, and they have less energy than liquid and gaseous particles. The second state of matter is liquid. Liquids are arranged in irregular pattern, sorry. Liquids, the particles in the liquids are arranged in irregular pattern. They do not have a proper fixed shape, and they are not rigid. They can flow easily. They are close to each other, but there is a space between the particles of the liquids. This means that there is not too much space between them, just enough for them to slide over each other. Therefore, it is difficult to compress the liquids, and they vibrate or move about and slide past each other. They have space between them, but they do not move freely from one place to another. They just slide on each other. That's why they have a fixed volume, and they do not have a proper fixed shape. The arrangement of particles in the gas, we can see that they have no regular arrangement. The particles are far away from each other, and they can flow easily and they can move easily. That's why they are compressible, and they move freely at a high speed because they have a lot of space between them. That is why they do not have a proper fixed shape and do not have a proper fixed volume. And they have highest energy as compared to the particles of solid and liquid. Why they have a high energy? Because they have a lot of space between them. That's why they have high energy and they can move freely from one place to another place. Hope you have understood about solids, liquids and gases, that the particles of solids are closely packed. They have very less energy as compared to liquid and gases because they do not move freely, and they have fixed shape and fixed volume, and they are rigid. The liquids have less energy, and particles of liquids have can they do not move freely and they can slide over each other. That's why they do not have a fixed shape and they are not rigid, but they have a fixed volume. Same like that, gases do not have a fixed shape and a fixed volume because the particles have too much space between them and they are far away from each other. That's why they can assume the shape of any container and they can occupy all the space provided to them. Hope you have understood very clearly about the matter, solids and liquids. You can you can compare these states of matter by making a flow chart or making a table, and you can differentiate between solids, liquid and gases by making the table like this, that particles are closely packed, liquids particles are not closely packed, and in gases particles are loosely packed or they are far away from each other. And that's why solids usually hard and they have a fixed shape, and liquids do not have a fixed shape and can flow, and they take the shape of the container they are poured into. And gases do not have fixed shape and they occupy all the available space in the container. And the third thing is that when you apply force on the solid, some solids can change their shape, some solids can be bent or broken. That's why they cannot be easily compressed. Liquids are also called fluids that can flow from one place to another, and gases are also fluids, and gases can be compressed. You can compress the gases, and that's why because of this compression we blow the gases, we fill the gases in the balloons or in the tires or in the beach balls, etc. All these things which I have told you are given on your book, page number 62. When you will read this, you will understand all the things about solid, liquid and gas, the arrangement of particles and other things about the shape and volume of the solids. Hope students you have understood about matter, its property, its states, and how these states can be differentiated from each other. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.